If you grew up with more than two siblings, there's a reason you act the way you do. And no, it's not normal. It's not coincidence. It's not personality theory. It's not astrology. It's survival. Years of emotional warfare disguised as childhood. Years of noise, competition, pressure, and unspoken rules that no one ever explained to you. So let's stop pretending people from big families turned out normal. You didn't. You turned out adapted. And today, we're exposing the unusual psychological traits every multi-sibling survivor carries like invisible battle scars. The environment that forged you. You didn't grow up in peace. Peace was rare. Silence was suspicious. Calm meant something bad was about to happen. Food disappeared faster than oxygen. Privacy didn't exist. Personal space was a myth. Being the oldest felt like unpaid management. Being the middle child felt like invisibility. Being the youngest felt like permanent surveillance. Every role was exhausting. Every role was permanent. And living in that environment rewired you in ways the outside world doesn't understand. Let's break it down. Trait 1. Emotional durability. The kind you can't teach. Some people fall apart when they don't get a text back. Some panic when Wi-Fi drops. Some crumble when one voice gets slightly louder. You don't, because your nervous system was trained in chaos. You grew up where someone was always yelling. Someone was always crying. Someone was always accusing. Someone was always blaming you for something you didn't do. You couldn't even eat cereal in peace. You'd be mid-bite, and suddenly the entire house is arguing about something that happened 2 years ago. That kind of environment doesn't create fragile adults. It creates people who can sit calmly inside emotional hurricanes. Psychologists call this stress inoculation. Repeated exposure to chaos forces the brain to adapt or collapse. You adapted. That's why today, you don't overreact. You don't panic under pressure. You don't get emotionally hijacked easily. You don't crumble when people push your buttons. Your buttons were pushed daily growing up. Your emotional durability isn't normal. It's battle-tested, steel-forged, built in a household where screaming, laughter, and chaos all happened in the same hour. Some people meditate to learn calm. You earned yours by surviving arguments over who sat in the front seat. Trait 2. Hyper-developed survival instincts. Growing up with many siblings forces your brain into survival mode early. You didn't walk through childhood. You dodged it. You learned to eat fast, hide snacks like classified information, sense blame before it landed, scan rooms for danger, stay alert because something was always happening. You didn't grow up with siblings. You grew up with competitors. It was like living inside a reality TV show with no cameras and no breaks. And now, those survival instincts show up in adulthood. You notice everything. You read rooms in seconds. You sense tension before words are spoken. You detect lies with sniper accuracy. You feel passive aggression before the sentence ends. People call it intuition. They say you're perceptive. They think you have a gift. You don't. You were trained. Your childhood required you to see danger before it fully formed. If you didn't think fast, you'd be blamed, tricked, overpowered, or robbed of your last snack. Survival wasn't optional. It was daily practice. That's why you're one of the most observant people in any room, without even trying. Trait 3. Extreme independence paired with natural authority. This is the strangest combination of all. People from big families often become wildly independent and quietly authoritative. Here's why. First, independence. When you have many siblings, no one babysits you emotionally. No one walks you through life step by step. No one has time. Everyone is busy surviving their own chaos. So you learn early how to solve your own problems, adapt without help, entertain yourself, make decisions quickly, take responsibility by default. Even surrounded by people, most of your challenges were handled alone. That builds self-reliance fast. Then comes the twist, authority. In chaos, someone has to stabilize things. Someone has to stop arguments, restore order, think clearly, make decisions. And somewhere along the line, that became you. You didn't chase leadership. Leadership picked you. Now, as an adult, people naturally listen when you speak. Friends rely on you in crisis. Coworkers trust you with responsibility. Families expect you to handle things. You walk into groups and subtly stabilize them. Independent enough to stand alone, authoritative enough to guide others. It's a rare psychological combination, and big families produce it by default. Bonus trait: zero fear of conflict. This one is almost funny. People with fewer siblings treat conflict like disaster. You treat it like a weekday. You don't fear arguments, you don't avoid hard conversations, you don't panic when voices rise. Why would you? You grew up where conflict was constant. People fought over food, chores, space, the remote, clothes, breathing too loud. Your nervous system became immune. So now, as an adult, you speak your truth without shaking. You hold your ground without guilt. You handle confrontation without spiraling. Conflict doesn't scare you. It's familiar territory. The final truth. Growing up with more than two siblings isn't just a childhood. It's a training ground. Every argument, every shared room, every stolen snack, every emotional explosion, all of it built you. You weren't shaped by comfort. You were shaped by noise, competition, confusion, and love, mixed into a loud cocktail of madness. And what came out of that environment? Someone emotionally durable, mentally sharp, instinctively strategic, naturally independent, quietly authoritative, fearless in conflict. You didn't learn this from books. You didn't get it from therapy. You didn't download it from the internet. You earned it by surviving a childhood where chaos was breakfast and arguments were background music. So if anyone ever wonders why you're built differently, it's simple. Your childhood wasn't normal. It was emotional warfare. And you didn't just survive it. You evolved from it. That's your strength. That's your advantage. And that's exactly why you should never underestimate yourself. Because the chaos you survived didn't just shape who you are. It quietly decided who you're becoming. And the real question is whether you're brave enough to fully step into that version of yourself.